Hello, it's very nice to be back. I'm sorry if I skipped our lives for a while, but I've been attending our company retreat. We have it once per year. This year was in Ferrara. It was a lot of interesting reflections, but now we're back to work. And I'm recording this at an unusual time as I'm about to enter a workshop for our migration blueprint. Looking forward to that. But before that, I wanted to share some updates and some reflections. Now, for the updates, we have been recently working on writing some documentation for LionWeb, because it's not enough to come up with a reasonable specification that we work on, in a tight group for quite a while. It's not enough to write the code that implement these specifications and provide a reference implementation. If you don't document it and let us authors know, let us author benefits from it, the value of this is limited. So what I did, I rearranged some of the documents that were already existent and integrated with authors. So we have an explanation of what LionWeb is about, a list of references, information about the project, participating, the history of the project, introduction on the main concept, and then the documentation for LionWeb Java, LionWeb Kotlin, LionWeb Python, LionWeb TypeScript, even if I need to double check this documentation with the author of LionWeb TypeScript, the amazing Maite Borsma, LionWeb C#. Here I stole some of the documentation that Nico Stotz wrote and just add a couple of pages, and then the LionWeb repository from the amazing Jos Warmer. So there's been a lot of software that has been written, and perhaps we were too enthusiastic to write it and not enthusiastic enough to document it. But, as professionals, I think we have to do also parts of the jobs that are less enthusiastic about, and this includes writing the documentation and let others know about this system, because we believe it can have an important role in language engineering. The way that I look at it, and authors may strongly disagree with this, is the new EMF, an EMF built based on the experience that we accumulated by using EMF for decades, built in a world that is web first and built to be multi-platform from the start, and also taking into consideration some things that we learn, for example, from MPS on the possibility of evolving languages. So this is, let's say, the basis. Then there is the aspiration to do much, much more. But yeah, I think that that is nice to see these ideas taking shape, and I think that once we publish this documentation online, it will be easier for authors to take advantage of that. And this makes me think about what it means to be a professional, and also what it means to work with professionals, because recently we have been working with a company that we hired to redo our website. How can I say that politely? I think they taught us a lot of lesson on what it doesn't mean to be a professional. And it makes me think of how hard it is to select partner to work with, and how I can understand when people reach out to us if they have doubts, if they're cautious, because there are a lot of people out there that they don't know what they're doing, where they're not just dishonest from the get-going. And it's very difficult to assess the professionalism of someone until you work with them. And in this case, for example, these people at some point published our website was full of errors. We spent the weekend fixing the main ones. And they explained to us that their way of working is publishing things and then fix them in production. What can you answer to that? Say, oh, interesting. I wish I knew before we decided working with you. And yeah, so was an interesting experience. But yeah, it makes me reflect on how hard it is to select the right partners to work with. And I think this is something that I want to reflect on more and maybe communicate more about our processes. Because, for example, we do not think it's a good idea to test in production. And what are the reassurance we can give? And I think this can go up to a certain stage. Then perhaps it makes also sense to think your offer in a way that you can provide initial services where people can see how you work, can see your work ethic or your ethics in general, and see that you're someone that they can trust, someone that will deliver what they promised, they will work at a certain standard of quality. And this is not a given. I mean, I think if you've been working for a while, you may have noticed that there is a huge variety on the level of professionalism. And so I can understand the reason for the skepticism. Maybe I should have been way more skeptic before we decided to work with this company. But yeah, you live, you learn, you correct, you improve. I guess we will look elsewhere the next time we will need to work with a web agency. So thank you. It's nice to be back, and I will now aim to be back twice per week as usual. Thank you. Bye.